AI is clearly the biggest trend in tech and has been for the past couple years. Ever since ChatGPT launched, it's really been at the forefront of the discussion around art and media and digital technology. AI is basically in everything nowadays. Almost every company has their version of AI and what it can do for you. You've got software applications that are AI powered and AI this and AI that. And I want to talk a little bit about that because it can be kind of scary to think about, like, what's going to happen to the industry? What's going to happen to my career? Where are things moving in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? What will things look like as AI continues to advance? Of course, you have the classic memes of AI, what it used to be just a year ago versus what it is now. Even in video, in photo, AI is so powerful. But there's one thing that AI can't do, and it's the thing I would bet on for the future. If you're worried about how's AI going to affect me? What can I do to avoid it? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about why you shouldn't avoid it. But if you want the answer to that, it's AI can never be real. It's the inherent limitation. It's the defining characteristic of what AI is artificial. Everything is generated. Nothing is actually real. And that's obvious, but take a little bit deeper. Think about that a little bit harder. So if you're doing things that are real, you're inherently not competitive with AI. When it comes to video, if you're filming real things, real people, real stuff, AI can't recreate that. There's no way for it to do it because it's not. It's all generated. It's hallucinated by the computer, by the machine. It can be really good. It can be realistic, but it will never be real, actual reality in the way that we talk about reality TV or documentary or someone's wedding. How could AI make someone's wedding? It could make a version of it. It could make a fantasy version of your wedding, but it couldn't be the real thing, the actual thing that happened on the day, because it just isn't. Even if you fed it all the real photos, the video that it would generate would inherently not be real. It would be hyper real, maybe realistic, but not real. So if you want to place your bets, if you want to figure out, okay, what do I work on? Try and find the things that are real. That's not narrative. That's not art. That's not the creative, fun things that a lot of us like to do, sci-fi or fantasy. AI can do that, and it can do it really well, probably better and faster than most professionals here in the next couple of years, where it can just, at a few keystrokes, generate an entire fantasy world for you. It could write up the story. It could create the characters. It could do the previs and the viz and all of it. It could maybe even do the editing one day where you could just click a few buttons and all of a sudden you have your version of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit or whatever it is, or your version of Star Wars, because you just type it in and there's your stormtroopers, there's your lightsabers, and you can make up any story you want with the Jedi and you can make your Star Wars, because none of that's real. We've been artificially making and telling these stories for, what feels like 100 years. And we've been doing all the work that AI can now do in a few clicks. Don't be scared of it. Don't avoid it. Any technology that has been kind of shunned, or, the professionals, the people in the industry, the people who are working hard, who are, paying their bills by doing this work, when AI comes to take their jobs, or when any technology has come to take their jobs, everyone resists it. That's working. Meanwhile, all the new, the younger people, the upcoming next generation, they'll grab onto any tool, whether it's Photoshop or digital versus film. There's been so many advancements in technology over the years, and the better thing almost always wins, because it's just, if it's convenient, if it's easy, if it's affordable, people just immediately go to it. There's not many of us who are sculpting with clay anymore, or using physical paint to make a painting. Most of us are now digital. We're in Photoshop, we're in Illustrator, we're in After Effects, we're in Premiere, or something outside of Adobe. Maybe you're using DaVinci Resolve, whatever it is. There used to be people who would process film in a lab, and they still do exist, but that market is shrinking because it's just so easy to do it digitally. The same is going to be true for AI. So if you're scared of it, if you want to say, I'm never going to use it, I'm not going to touch it, that's, it's not real art, I think you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, in the same way that people who said, like, I'm never going to shoot digital, I'm never going to do these things. There's an element of I don't know, it's noble integrity to be a purist in your craft. But even the film photograph was an advancement beyond someone painting. So if you're shooting with film, saying like, oh, I'm the purist, I'm the one doing it the right way. No, no, no. If you want to go back, you should be painting your portraits, not shooting them on film. So digital is just the next evolution of that. AI is another evolution in terms of time saving, efficiency, and speed, but it can never be real. It just can't. And not that I can imagine, not anytime soon. How would that work? How can you make something up that is real? Even if you typed what this room looks like, what this video looks like specifically, what AI is going to give you is not the real version. Now, you can argue whether that's important or not. Doesn't matter if something is real, which probably is an interesting conversation to have. Do things need to be real to be valued? And I think that biologically, for whatever reason, human beings just value reality more than we value fake fantasy. Fantasy can be good, it can be entertaining, it can be fun. When you look at a picture that's created by AI, you go, wow, that looks interesting or that looks unique. But the moment I show you something that really happened, then I think you're far more interested and engaged because it's tangible. You know that it happened. And in the world of fake news and trickery, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or social media, wherever you're seeing like the fake AI videos that are tricking all the grandparents, the moment you tell someone, oh, that's not real, that didn't actually happen, whatever they thought immediately changes perspective. You could think something is outrageous. You can think something is crazy or wild or funny. And then if you tell them, well, that's fake, AI made that, that's not real, it polarizes the conversation in a complete, you tell someone something is fake, it changes their perspective in an instant. And so I think human beings will always value what is real over what is fake or artificial or generated. I think this is true across the board. You can come up with plenty of examples. There's plenty in my mind that I'm thinking of that might offend some people, so I won't even say them. But if you talk about fake anything, fake fill in the blank, even if it's a purse, a handbag, a wallet, designer clothes, there's always, even if it doesn't actually matter, they could be physically almost identical. There still is well, that one's the real one and that one's the fake. I don't want it. And I think that's so deep inside of human beings. Maybe it's an evolutionary trait we picked up over the years that we value real things versus fake things. Like real food versus, if I told you, hey, this rock is food, you go, no, it's not. I need real food. I need real water. I need real air. I need real things to keep me alive and surviving to the next generation. I think there's a lot of value there. So if you're doing photo or video, or you're worried about how AI is going to impact you and your career, if you're doing something that's fake, you're the artificial generator, use the AI tools. Use them to your advantage. There will always be people who need to push the buttons and tell AI what to do until we get to the point where AI can tell itself what to do, but we're not there yet. You still need an operator. You still need a human being on the other side of the screen. Embrace the AI, use those tools to your advantage. Otherwise, you're going to be left in the dust. You're going to be sitting in the past on your high horse, being a purist of, I sculpt my own 3D models. Meanwhile, everyone else is running circles around you, working at light speed just because they're using the latest tools. No one would ever criticize you for using Photoshop. Well, that's not true. Not no one, but it's become standard practice that everyone uses Photoshop to manipulate images and make them their best and all these things. If you're saying you won't use AI for that same feature because you like to spend the time of doing it the hard way in Photoshop, you're just fooling yourself. You're already using a tool that's the cheat code, that's the hack, that's the artificial tool. You're just the in-between. Photoshop is an in-between from what we used to have, which was you couldn't do any of it, to now you can do all sorts of trickery in Photoshop. And then AI is just the next step in that path. You can say you hate it, you could say you don't like it, you can say it's taking your jobs, but it's happening in real time, and it's going to continue to get better and better. So if you're already doing stuff that's kind of fake, kind of artificial, kind of generative, kind of fantasy, like I said, whatever it is, use the tools to your advantage, but also on the flip side, know the tools, but then also embrace all the things that it can't do. It can't be real. So the more that you are focused on real things, reality, storytelling, through photos, through images, through video, that AI can't make this video exactly the way I am. It could make a version of it, but it can't make this video. It can't have its own new thoughts, at least not yet. And even if I told you, well, that was, AI made that up. Oh, no, a human being thought that up. Okay. I think there's always an inherent value that will be placed upon the real thing. It might not be financial value. The AI stuff might make more money, But the real stuff, the AI can't take that away. You could go shoot something in reality right now, if it's a story worth telling, if it's something good, if it's worth seeing and consuming, and you want to create it, AI couldn't have done that. It could do a version of it, but it couldn't do exactly that and being real as in real life. It doesn't exist out here in this physical space. Maybe one day there is a version of it that can, but I can't imagine it quite yet. So if I'm going to place my bet, I'm going to bet on what's real for that side of the equation, for that type of work, double down on the real stuff. And then on the other side, use the AI tools to your advantage. Don't force yourself to work in the old archaic ways, in the aging dinosaur tech. There's no point. You're just suffering for no reason. The AI stuff is clunky. It's not intuitive yet because the programs, everyone's competing. You know, there's 20 new startups every single day about their new AI thing that they can do. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are kind of broken, but you can kind of sift through it and figure out what works, what doesn't, and you can use stuff to your advantage where it can help you, and then you can also find the places where it's like, oh, it can't do that because it can't actually do the real thing that I need it to do, so I'm going to do that instead. And you can use both in balance, and I think that is probably the best way to maintain, job security, productivity into the future, instead of just, sitting on your hill that you're going to die on saying, I'm never going to touch it. Or, oh, this sucks. Everything's ruined because AI can do everything. It can't be real.